Hi everyone, welcome back to Reasons to Read, and today I want to talk about Reasons to Read Tarnished Are the Stars by Rosiee Thor. So what are some of the reasons to read this book? It has a central sapphic romance. One of them is a healer, sort of. Technically she's a mechanic, but she does help people heal. So she's kind of sort of a healer. One of them is a stabby spy person. So that's why I went for healer rather than mechanic, because healer meets stabby spy person fall in love is much more fun, because it's a stronger visual of the opposites attract that is in this epic romance. So yeah, that's why. If that makes any sense at all, I hope it does. It has an Era Ace Puff character who is so soft and so good, and Nathaniel is lovely and adorable, and he's such a sweetie. This book is genre blending goodness. It is officially a young adult science fiction novel, but if you like Regency-esque manners, adventure science fiction, fantasy world building with science fiction underpinnings, steampunk aesthetic, stabbiness, and political plottings, this is just so good. It's just so many different kind of things mished together. It's lovely. I adore it. Nathaniel also deserves all the hugs forever, and he's also technically disabled, in terms of a fantasy disability anyway, but it is a very big one. And I don't want to say too much about it because it is an important plot point that is woven in through the story and is important. But it's basically he has, I think this is the best way I can say it. He has an artificial heart because plot reasons. That's all I'm going to say about it. And did I mention, by the way, that the queer representation is on page mentioned, because it is, at the very least, when it comes to Nathaniel. I think it also is mentioned when it comes to Eliza, who is the amazing stabby spy person. But it's been a while since I read Tarnished Are the Stars. And apparently I lost my ebook copy, so I couldn't look it up. But this is Lesbians in Space with a space ace, and it has puns, which I am very bad at. I'm sorry, Rosie, I'm really bad at puns. I tried. This is the best I could do with the previous one. Lots in this book is about friendship and trust, found family, and learning to believe in yourself. And it has a very fast pace, which is expertly combined with pauses for self-reflection and for readers to take a breath between events. So the pacing in this book it's really good. It's very fast, but it has pauses at just the right moments in just the right lengths, and it's lovely. I adore it. And the stabbiness, I may actually be overselling the stabbiness, I'm sorry, but I really like stabby spy characters, and then Rosie went along and made it queer, so then I loved it even more because Eliza is amazing. Eliza is just, I really need to learn to reread these books before I try and talk about them, so I actually remember details that I can talk about instead of just my vague, terrible memory going like, well, this is amazing. And then, you ask my memory like, okay, well, why is it amazing? And then my brain just goes, because it is. I read it and it was amazing. And I'm like, well, yeah, I read it and I know it's amazing, but I would like details, brain. And my brain does not comply. It's just really annoying because I adored Eliza so much. I think there were book plate images that were part of the pre-order campaign that had all three main characters and had Eliza on it, and Eliza's fashion sense is just on point. She has a hat. The hat is amazing. It is also a small part of the entire narrative, but there was a hat and it was amazing. And just watching these three learn to work together is just, it's a lot of fun. It has three point of view characters. It has Anna, Eliza, and Nathaniel. And, you know, they have to learn to work together because they actually have more or less the same goal as they discover, but they all have their own reasons to get to that goal. And it's really lovely the way that's put together. I really enjoyed it. So, other useful things to know. Look at the tagline on their cover. You know, I just look at it. Trust is a blade, they must learn to wield it. Isn't that just an amazing tagline? I don't necessarily pay a lot of attention to taglines, but this one, I looked at the cover when I was compiling my reasons, and I was like, yeah, you know, we have to talk about this, or at least I have to mention it, because, you know, it's so true, and it's exactly what they need to learn and do. Is not only do they need to learn how to trust each other, but they need to learn how to use trust to get what they want. And it's a lot of fun. I will say I do wish the world building had been fleshed out a bit more. If you look at reviews, you will see that this is a fairly common point in reviews. But, you know, for me, it's just, this is a really fun setting, and it's really fascinating the way that it came about. And we get just enough for the plot to work and for the entire book to tease at all these things that we don't know and that we might learn if there was like a companion novel or a sequel novel or a prequel novel. Hint, hint. But there's not really room for it in this book itself, and it's just, I wanted more. It's just, there's so much going on here, and it all just meshes together, and just, I wanted more of that mesh, because meshes like that are fun. It's you take things that you think like, okay, these don't go together, and then you kind of put them together and you make them work together, and then because reasons decide to not give readers all the world building ever. Which, okay, fair, it would have slowed down the plot a lot if it had done that. And I love the pacing of the plot because it's perfect. And it would have lost that, but I wanted more world building. Just, it is such a good world. Give me more of it. Yeah, I am a very, very sad, needy person when it comes to world building. Give me all of it. All of it forever. I will love it. There's also a lot of banter in this book. Now, I love banter. Banter is my weakness in books. I'm terrible at writing it, but God, when writers do that in books, it's the best. It's fun, it's funny, it has its own beat in the novel, it creates its own little breathing space in a book. It creates its own set of tension and tension release in a book. And it's just, I love banter, especially when it's snarky banter, which this is. And it's amazing. There's no love triangle either, which, you know, I think a lot of people are sort of tired of seeing a love triangle. You know, it's especially in queer books, and queer books is basically just all of you get together, just be a polyamorous couple or triple or triad, you know, whatever shape the love triangle, love square has. And so that was just, it's nice not to have that, and just explicitly not have that. There's a lot of commentary in this book on classism as well, but I think the one thing that you really need to take out of this book, especially in 2020, is the commentary on healthcare, which is basically universal healthcare that everybody can access and afford is good, actually. And I think that is something that is kind of undervalued in when it comes to this book. Is just it's an entire book that is basically dedicated to saying healthcare is important and good, because healthcare is important and good, and just it was just so beautifully done. And Nathaniel is a very precious being. We protect Nathaniel. Thankfully, he has two of his best friends now who are. He has friends who will protect him, which is good because he's a precious being and he's a sweetie and he needs protecting. It has a lot of high stakes in this book. These high stakes, they're often kept just very personal to each point of view character, which I kind of already mentioned, with them having kind of the same goal but their own reasons for going towards that goal. And it's really lovely done. And I feel like Anna really got the short shrift in this when I was talking about it, because I just Nathaniel is my precious son, and Eliza is just the amazing stabby lady whom I love to pieces, and Anna's kind of I love Anna as well. It's just when it comes to memorability, she unfortunately gets a bit of the short shrift with me. But she is a mechanic. She's a very good one. She's also a very precious being who wants to protect people and who uses her mechanical skills to do so. And yeah, that does mean that we have a leading STEM lady in this young adult science fiction story. A leading STEM lady. Just stressing that. And just that was lovely as well. And just it's such a fun book. And just protect the precious beans, protect Anna, protect Nathaniel, also protect Eliza, but Eliza would really resent it if you try to do that. But yeah, it's just this book is so much fun, and I really enjoyed it, and these are some of the reasons to read it. So until next time, I hope you have a lovely time, and until then,